Welcome to the Pre-Snap Podcast presented by LineStar, your top player prop bets for Thursday Night Football. The contest is the Vikings going to the West Coast to take on the Rams in this one. Alongside Tyler Wiemann, I'm Shannon Sommerville. We've got some great player picks for you guys in this game. On Monday night's show, I feel like we had a little bad luck get us. We had a Mike Evans over on receiving yards pick. That one didn't cash. We also had a touchdown call for Chris Godwin. He had one, and then it got called back. So I feel like we got hit with a little bit.
And he got hurt.
Oh, bad luck for Chris
affect
Godwin.
The touchdown call
right.
The last 40 minutes, but
yeah. Just missed also on your Trey McBride over on his receiving yards pick. He finished with 50. We needed him, or did he finish with 51? He needed over 51 and a half. Womp womp. Sometimes that's just the way it goes.
My Sunday pick, Tony Pollard, was at 61, and I think he needed 61 and a half.
The hook has gotten us in week 7 for sure.
Within a couple days.
Bad beat city. Mark Andrews delivered, though, for that receiving yards call. He also had some touchdowns, so congrats to those who cashed in those touchdown calls for Mark Andrews. I saw a couple of you guys in the comments. And then last Thursday night's show, we went 2-1 on our picks. My pick let us down, unfortunately. I had a Spencer Rattler interception. I should have taken over on 0.5 turnovers because he coughed one up at the end of the game, the fumble at the end of the game there, but we cashed in on a Javonte Williams touchdown call there as well. And I took a lot of grief from some people in the comments over Javonte Williams. Everyone saying he was washed, but had a great game for Denver. And I certainly couldn't have predicted what he put up in that game with the Denver Broncos going to New Orleans and doing that. But in tonight's game, we've got a good one to talk about. The Los Angeles Rams just 2-4 going up against a Vikings team coming off their first loss of the season. They just suffered what was a tough loss in one of the best games of this season that we've seen so far to the Detroit Lions. Kind of a wild finish there, but they're going to be looking to try to bounce back on a short week here. Of course, it's Kevin O'Connell, the coach of the Vikings, going up against his former teacher in Sean McVay. So this should be a really good contest, and it's the spread, it's just 3 points in favor of the Vikings on the road in this one. So I think we're in for a pretty good contest. And as far as the prop market goes, it's kind of interesting, and it's interesting for a couple different reasons. I like a couple different angles in the market, but also we've got some storylines here. And the first thing we have to talk about is the fact that Cooper Kupp is showing up in a lot of trade rumors. I mean, could he even wind up next week as a Kansas City Chief? I guess that's a possibility in this one. And then there are other reports out there that they, quote, aren't really protecting Matthew Stafford in some of these trade talks. So it's kind of an interesting situation for the Rams. Maybe they're in kind of a selling off all their pieces situation. What do you make of all the reports that have come out lately regarding some of their playmakers?
I mean, if they trade Kupp, I'd be shocked if a Stafford stayed. There's just no real reason to keep him. You might as well turn him into some picks or, a different quarterback, something that would give the team, prospects going forward. But I think it's interesting. I mean, they're probably a decent ways away from really competing, so it would make some sense to get some picks from these guys.
Yeah, and the Rams coming off just a 5-point win over the Raiders, but 2-4 on the season, so certainly in kind of maybe a sell situation, especially with they've also been dealing with some injuries too. Puka Nacua is still out for them, but in this one they might get Cooper Kupp back. In fact, they are, it looks like, going to get him back. He was listed on the injury report as a full go. So that takes us to the injuries in this one. Cooper Kupp, full go. Jordan Whittington did not practice on Monday's report, shoulder injury. For Minnesota, TJ Hawkinson could be back. He was listed as limited. Of course, he's coming back from that knee injury. And then Aaron Jones is on the injury report with a hamstring. He is limited as well. However, he could be in a good spot. And that's actually, Tyler, where we're going to start things off with LineStar's pick. But before I get into the picks, do me a favor, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and comment below. A comment enters you into our prop bets contest, whereby if we go 3 for 3, one randomly selected commenter will win $60. Got to be in it to win it. Hopefully we can finally get over the hump. We've had some bad luck over the course of the last couple of weeks. We've been so close. So hopefully tonight is our night with the Rams-Vikings matchup. And if you want to, we'll be referencing the LineStar projections throughout this video. Check out LineStar at LineStarApp.com. The PropsAI tool is exactly what we're using to help us find these prop bets. So check it out for yourself at LineStarApp.com. All right, without further ado, let's get into the picks. We're going to start off with the Vikings running back, Aaron Jones, over 67.5 rushing yards. LineStar's projection for Aaron Jones is over 80 rushing yards in this one. And that 67.5 mark is one he's been over in 4 of 6 games. Jones is averaging 74 rushing yards per game. And this is a Rams defense that ranks 26th in rush defense DVOA. They've allowed a lot of running backs to put up big numbers against them. Most recently, Las Vegas Raiders running back Alexander Mattison, 92 rushing yards. Josh Jacobs a couple weeks ago, 73 rushing yards. DeAndre Swift, 93. I'll continue. Jordan Mason for the 49ers put up 77. James Conner, 122. David Montgomery, 91. Do you see a trend here? Yes, we are taking Aaron Jones over 67.5 rush yards here. They just haven't been able to stop the run, which is the key here for us. What do you think?
I mean, when you have a spot where 6 of 6 have gone over and several of the backs are not as good as Aaron Jones, I think it makes some sense to want to go here. We have him at 20th on our team defense tool. I do not think this game script is going to get away from Minnesota, so they're not rushing the ball. So that's a big reason that I like Aaron Jones. He's going to get 15 plus rushes. And that's all he really needs to get to 67.5.
Yeah, and I mean, if they're in a situation towards the end of the game, we've seen a lot of these games the last couple of weeks where they're just kind of just trying to run the clock out. That could be a situation where he gets over on his yardage prop as well. So like the game script here, Aaron Jones over 67.5 rushing yards. Now it is time for Tyler and I to give our best picks for this Thursday night contest. What you got, Tyler?
You know what? I got to go to the guy making his return, who is also possibly headed to Kansas City Chiefs, but that is Cooper Kupp over 68.5 receiving yards. I just think this line is too low if he is a Ram. And if he's not, then your bet gets voided anyways. But our LineStar projections, 83, consensus is 61. Minnesota is 27th versus the WR1 on our team defense tool. They've allowed 222 yards per game to the wide receiver over the last 4. And wide receivers have just gone off against them. It's another spot where everybody has been over. Amon-Ra, Garrett Wilson, Jaden Reed, Nico Collins, Debo, all of them have been over the 68.5 line. And Cooper Kupp is going to do it this week.
Yeah, I feel like Cooper Kupp coming back, him and Matthew Stafford just have that connection that he's going to find his guy there, even against a pretty good defense. But against wide receivers, they have given up some serious yardage, as you just laid out all of those names for us that have been over this one. They'll get their yardage in this one. They have a good red zone scoring defense, so they might be able to keep him out of the end zone, maybe. I don't know. I really like Cooper Kupp this week, and I hope he delivers because he's also on my fantasy team. So that would be a win-win for us there. For my pick, though, I'm going to the other side. And the other pretty good wide receiver in this game, Justin Jefferson, over 83.5 receiving yards. LineStar's projection is 89.9. Listen, this line last week was around 92.5 for Justin Jefferson's receiving yards. And that was, in my opinion, versus a better pass defense. Detroit's considered a top 10 pass defense. The Rams, meanwhile, are 24th in pass defense DVOA. They're also 24th in EPA per play allowed. And they really haven't shown that much consistency in being able to defend the pass. Also, Justin Jefferson just this week was saying how he's sick of these 80, 90 receiving yards games. He's ready for his big breakout game where he puts up triple digits. I think we're all ready to see that. And the good thing here is that Sam Darnold has the second highest time to throw this season. So I think against this Rams defense, Sam Darnold will have plenty of time to find his guy for those deep shots down the field so he can get over this receiving yards total and hit the triple digits. I think you could even maybe even ladder this one a little bit. What's your any opinions on Justin Jefferson in this game?
I mean, my only worry is that he may have to do it in the first half, which
Yeah.
he's totally terrible or like capable of.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's in a great matchup. He could absolutely destroy the Rams as long as that's the way the Rams want to beat him.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we do have to think kind of about the game script and how we think this one is going to play out. As far as the odds makers in this one right now, it's just a 3-point spread in favor of the Vikings in this one. So that kind of
Yeah.
points to it's
And
not expecting a
Jefferson did have
blowout situation.
116 yards versus him, I believe, last year.
Yeah. So I think he'll get there on those receiving yards. At the end of the show, we'll each give you our picks though about who we think is going to win, whether they'll cover, etc. But for right now, it is time for touchdown calls of the game. Tyler, where are you headed for an anytime touchdown in Thursday Night Football Week 8?
For an anytime touchdown, I got to go to my man Cooper Kupp plus 110 to get in the end zone. Minnesota is allowing 1.8 touchdowns per game to the wide receiver over the last 4. They haven't been good to the wide receiver 1. Our team defense tool has them at 27th, and the Rams are likely to be trailing and needing to throw. And if they're throwing, most likely candidate to get in the end zone is Cooper Kupp, and you're getting him at plus money. So let's go.
Yeah, I love Cooper Kupp at plus money. All right, you went with the guy that you took for receiving yards over, so I'm just going to go the same way. We're going Justin Jefferson for an anytime touchdown, minus 120, so not the best value out there, but I think he finds the end zone in this one. 5 touchdowns this season, 9 red zone targets, and going up against a Rams defense that's 28th in pass defense DVOA, 17th in opponent red zone scoring. And I think Justin Jefferson, yeah, he's ready to show out on this national stage Thursday Night Football. Tyler, not sure if you saw that photo spread with him and Anthony Edwards recreating the iconic Sports Illustrated photo that first featured Kevin Garnett and Randy Moss when they swapped jerseys, kind of showcasing the Minnesota sports scene. But I think Justin Jefferson is ready for another photo moment in the end zone doing the gritty. What do you think?
He absolutely probably is. So you can't hold him down for long.
If he does, I'll be doing the gritty. I'll be happy with that one for sure. So hopefully we can cash all of our entries here. If you've got any locks for us, make sure to drop them in the comments. As I mentioned at the top of the show, we play a contest whereby we're entering all 3 of our picks on an entry on Underdog. So if we go 3 for 3, one randomly selected commenter will win our winnings on that. The rules of that are you have to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and comment below, and you're in it to win it. So do us a huge favor there. And again, if you've got any locks for us, please let us know where you're headed for your bets. If you disagree with us, we want to hear from you guys too. Hey, we welcome all viewpoints on this. If you're fading us on certain picks, we welcome the discussion here in the comments. We're all trying to go out there and beat the books. So it helps everyone stay informed and just heading into this as more informed bettors is the goal of this show always. So looking forward to seeing all of your comments. And again, hopefully we cash a winning ticket and give out some money on this show. The winner will be announced on next Thursday's show. So let's take a look at this matchup. We got the Minnesota Vikings coming off their first loss going up against the Rams, who I feel like they can be sneaky sometimes. Sean McVay is always cooking stuff up, especially, the teacher is going to try to show off in front of their student in Kevin O'Connell in this one. Just 3 points in favor of the Vikings in this one. Who you got?
I got to go Vikings. I think they should be favored by more than 3 also. So I would take the points. Money line, all on Vikings.
Yeah. All right. I see where you're headed, but I'm actually going in the other direction in this one, which might be a little bit spicy, but I'm going to go with the home underdogs in this one. The Los Angeles Rams are a pretty good team, especially when you add Cooper Kupp back to the mix on offense, get things going, get Kyren Williams. Yeah, they've got Kyren Williams on their team on offense, so they're perfectly capable of kind of maybe slowing down that Minnesota Vikings offense a bit, keeping the ball away from Sam Darnold and that explosive passing offense. And so I think that I like the Rams in this one on the money line if you can get it. I like that play there. Sean McVay, he's going to concoct something. And plus the fact that Matthew Stafford back with Cooper Kupp again, looking forward to seeing that connection, especially since I got Cooper Kupp on my team. So I'm going to go with the Rams on this one. I feel like I've been rolling too much with the favorites, and I think this is a Thursday night contest that the Rams will make it interesting. They seem to always kind of surprise me every now and then. And you know what? The Vikings have a really good defense, but if there's any quarterback that can assess a defense and kind of pick it apart, it's Matthew Stafford. He's done it a time or two. So I like the play for a little underdog action there with the Rams. But we're just betting the Los Angeles Rams. We're not touching the Dodgers. We're all Yankees fans here, right, Tyler? All right, so those are our
anti this World Series. It'll have enough ratings.
I was looking up tickets to the World Series. I was like, oh, maybe I'll just pop on over.
It's insane.
Yeah, right. Over almost like $1,500 just for basically standing room, essentially. Yeah. It's just wild.
Yeah. If there is a Game 7, those tickets will be insane.
Yeah. I mean, I can't imagine what those ticket prices would be like if the first game is just starting, around $1,000 to go. So, It's going to be a good series, though. But I'll root for the Rams in this Thursday night contest. But that's as far as my allegiance to Los Angeles lies, just with the money on the Rams on Thursday night. But that's about it. And maybe that's some bad juju for picking them ahead of the World Series we've got cooking. But got to do it. Also, Tyler, next Monday is the sports equinox, where all of the major sports, the 4 major sports, are going to be going off. So I've already started to try to think about a nice parlay to put together for the sports equinox. So if you guys have any ideas for that, let me know in the comments. I might cook something up here for you guys on YouTube. But if you haven't already, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, comment below. It enters you into our contest, but it also keeps you in the loop about the LineStar content we've got coming out. And if you haven't already, check out Tyler's DFS breakdown. And he's also got a look ahead at week 8 and the various matchups that are going to be advantageous to the running back wide receiver position, whether you're playing in daily fantasy or you need some help, judging who you should put in your weekly season-long fantasy lineup as well. So check that out on our YouTube channel as well. Good luck in all of your sports betting endeavors, as always. Wow, it's all here. NBA season is upon us. The World Series is about to kick off. It's going to be a great season. I can feel it. Let's go. Good luck out there, guys. See you next